Hello everybody, welcome back to another video about the life in Japan. In this video, I'll be sharing about things that could be fact or fiction about Japan. For some reason, Japan is always a country of mystery. There are lots of depictions about Japan that is either false or is kind of an exaggeration of some kind of truth. Things like anime, manga, and even movies don't really portray an accurate image of what Japan really is. So hopefully this video will clear up some of those misconceptions and also give you a better understanding of what Japan really is. So the first thing, just to get it out of the way, is that Japan has a high suicide rate. This is actually kind of true. Sometimes depending on which city you're in or the train lines you're on, sometimes about like once a week or maybe a little more, it would actually shut down, or maybe there's some kind of delay due to an incident. Again, this does not sound like much, but again, this is just from one city, but if you take into account all the major cities throughout the months in a year, that's actually quite a lot of people. And I read somewhere that you actually have a higher chance of killing yourself than to actually be killed in Japan, so that's just kind of a interesting fact. The second thing is that Japan is the tech center of the world. This is actually false. About 10 or 20 years ago, this will actually be true, but now you have companies like Apple, which is based in the US. You have companies like Samsung, which is based in South Korea. You have companies like HTC, based in Taiwan. You don't really see a lot of Japanese products anymore, like Sony, Toshiba, or anything like Sharp or something. And the problem with that is that there isn't really anything that Japan has that the world doesn't have anymore. So is it the tech center? Well, probably not. The third thing is Japan is racist. And I've covered this topic in some of my other videos, and this is part true. They definitely treat foreigners differently, but differently does not mean worse, and it's a really case-by-case scenario. Some people will welcome foreigners with open arms, some not so much. The fourth thing is that the Japanese are very punctual. This is actually kind of iffy as well, part true. Scheduled events like flights and trains are on point and very punctual. Work times, however, are a little different. People start way earlier than their scheduled start time. And with that, they also end much later than their scheduled end times. Also, when it comes to meeting people, so if you call people to hang out, usually they are not early. So besides work and things you need for getting around, people aren't very punctual. So when meeting friends, they'll arrive like just on time or maybe even a minute or two later. They're usually not early. But then again, that's just from my personal experience. So maybe other people are, I don't know. And the fifth thing is that earthquakes, tsunamis, and radiation poisoning is common in Japan. This is totally false. Depending on where you live in Japan, some of these three things don't even exist. Now, for me, I'm currently in Osaka, and having earthquakes probably happen only like once or twice a year, and when they do happen, it's just a minor shake for about like half a minute to a minute, and that's pretty much it. It sounds like it's a pretty big thing, but again, compared to real earthquakes that could topple buildings, this is just like a very minor thing. Also, regarding tsunamis, again, this depends on where you live. Some places don't even get it at all. Again, for me, I don't even get tsunamis, but some coastal cities will probably experience some sort of tsunami. And with radiation poisoning, again, this depends on where you live, but most major cities in Japan are far away from any nuclear incident places, so don't really think of that as like a major concern. And also regarding the radiation poisoning, it doesn't really affect day-to-day life. Like in Japan, it's not really a problem when it comes to buying food or even transportation. It could just be the government trying to make it sound like a minor thing, but I don't know. So that's it for this video. Those are 5 things that may or may not be true about Japan, but hopefully those things helped clear your ideas about what Japan really is and what Japan might not really be. Again, if you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. So have yourself a good night, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.